Welcome back. The third Nalafem Summit is set to take place in Windhoek, Namibia on July 1st, 2024. The event aims to foster women's right to lead and promote African women leaders. In collaboration with the Ministry of Information, the summit will bring together key stakeholders to discuss and address the challenges faced by women in leadership positions. The summit will provide a platform for women to share their experiences, network, and learn from each other. Joining us tonight is the Head of Communications of Nalafem, Noel Ngunyam. Noel, good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Nina, and thank you so much for having me.
You traveled all the way from Cameroon. I'm sure you're tired, so we do appreciate your time here this evening and making it here with us. Tell us, what are your first impressions of Namibia? This is your first time in the country.
Yeah, it is. And Namibia is very cold. That was the first thing I saw. But it's also very calm and cool. You know, us back in Western Central Africa, we are loud and noisy and hot. So it's a cultural shock.
All right. Well, good impressions nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. I'll relocate here. I will.
Noel, speaking on this Nalafem Summit, the third summit, let's talk about what you believe are the most significant barriers to women leadership in Africa.
You know, it's so surprising that still at a time like this, we still have barriers to women's leadership. It's funny, but I feel like some of the things, especially at community levels, is really about social cultural stereotypes. There's still lots of cultures and traditions that hold back on women taking charge of things. And that transits to even how women take up government positions or even international responsibility. But yes, we do have those cultural norms. We do have limited educational opportunities where they can learn more about how to just be a leader, you know. And even away from that, we have socioeconomic issues. Poverty is still a big issue for women wanting to get into leadership positions. So it, you know, and it just affects them so much. Yeah. And when you do not see that there are people winning and doing it to inspire you to push forward, you just tend to stay back in your box.
Right. Yeah. So how does the Nalafem Summit then contribute to fostering, you know, a leadership of women in Africa?
The Nalafem Summit is a melting pot of intergenerational co-leadership and dialogue. We bring women from both the, you know, first generation feminists and leaders to melt with this new and younger generation of women, and just so they just learn from each other, and there's just this mentorship and you know, co-leadership sessions that happen, and they having these dialogues is not just about you know, just talking and doing nothing. It's really about when we are moved past the summit, how do we influence things? How do we impact, especially advocacy spaces and even multilateral spaces, to push for women's engagement so they can actually see that women on the continent are doing something. Yeah. So that is what we do at the Nalafem Summit. We bring this generation of women together. We give them the platform and the opportunity to talk to each other, to mentor, and just to understand what are our challenges as women, how can we overcome them, what are we recommending to policymakers and governments and even to the international community on how to foster women's participation in decision making.
On the back of what you just said then, what strategies do you think are necessary to promote African women leaders?
We definitely are very keen on intergenerational accountability, and you know, it's about asking questions and getting responses. Nalafem is guided by what we call the African Young Women Beijing Plus 25 Manifesto. And this is a document that was produced from the demands of young women on the continent. And we put out 10 demands in that document that stipulates what African women want and how they think that can be achieved. Now, looking at that document, one of the ways that Nalafem thinks we can overcome all of this is through things like the summit, which is not just another event, it's really a dialogue space, you know, like I said. And even away from that, we also work a lot on advocacy. We go to a lot of spaces. Just a few months ago, we were at CSW in New York, convened by UN Women, and it was really to just join other partners, you know, and talk about what do we do with this issue that we have? How do we get things moving? Because sometimes it feels slow.
Yes.
I know, but that is, the way we think we can really push things ahead. We can push things forward. And economic empowerment is also one of them. We believe a lot that if women are socio-economically empowered, they can really push for things. And this is one of the things that we will be doing at the summit. We want to use digitalization and all of these tools that are available in today's generation to support women to move forward, So those are some of the things that we do. But even away from that, just as an organization, we are led by women politicians, activists, and leaders. And these women already, they take on a lot of mentorship. They take on a lot of young ones in the space. And they just hold their hands and together, let's move forward, and it's getting there.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Noel, what can be expected to transpire at this year's summit taking place on the 1st of July?
Oh, the summit is going to be full of beautiful things. First, we are very honored to have been accepted by the government of Namibia. They accepted to co-host the summit. So it's not just the Ministry of Information, it's the government. Did this cabinet decision, and because we came to Namibia because it's no news that Namibia is very gender committed. We've seen in recent years how much Namibia has gone for the 50-50 representation in Parliament. And then now there is Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo, who actually is our guest of honor and patron at the summit. She has, she will be going in for elections, and that is something that we are here to support and put in our voice for. So she will be the keynote address at the summit. She will be like the main person. Everything will be centered around. But away from that, we are going to launch what we call the Nalafem 100 initiative. And in this, we are bringing together 100 women leaders on the continent to champion leadership and mentor other young women into leadership spaces.
That's beautiful.
Yes, we actually, because we are in Namibia and you don't come to a house and you go back empty-handed. So we really plan to support Honorable Emma, who is one of our council members. She's very beloved by us at Nalafem. And we plan to just support her mandate and, her time as Minister of Information and Communications Technology by providing digital access to 100 Namibian girls. It's a project we are going to launch. It's called Project Tech Her. And we are hoping that in the next couple of months, we could be, able to take that up and just support, because we know what digitalization means today.
Yes.
And we will be having the Nalafem Awards as well. We have that every year when we have the summit, and it's just recognizing the leadership of these influential and positive thinking African women that are doing a lot. And there will be quite some surprises as well.
Noel, unfortunately, that's all the time we have, but thank you so much for your time this evening. Just finally and briefly, your message for the women that will be attending the Nalafem Summit.
Our message as Nalafem is we believe that together we can do this. We cannot do this alone. We need you all with us at the summit to just, share ideas, exchange insights, and just hold each other's hands and move forward, because there is no us without you and there's no you without us. We need to do this together.
Thank you so much for your time this evening, Noel. I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in Namibia and take a piece of us back with you to Cameroon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was Noel Ngunyam, who is the head of communications at Nalafem, speaking to us. We'll be right back shortly.